When walking down the toy aisle, you may not think it, but that toy started as an idea. Then it turned into a sketch by an artist, and then hopefully becomes a reality for you to enjoy. Today we meet an artist who takes inspiration from his childhood to create the toys and collectibles you love. Meet Mondo Roque.
Hi, my name's Mondo Roque. I am a creative artist, toy designer, designing promotional product, retail toys, adult collectible toys. I've been working in the toy industry for, I'd say, almost close to 20 years now. It really all started, I feel like it started like years ago as a kid. I always connected with toys. I always was drawing and trying to be creative, come up with different stories.
When I think back to like some of the first things that I designed or that I drew as a kid, I remember being in a big union hall with my dad. He was part of a masonry union for cement workers. And he'd give me this yellow notepad, legal pad, and a pen, and I would just draw all kinds of Robotech battles in that legal pad.
What era of toys did you grow up with?
I grew up with late 80s, 90s era of toys. Probably the best era of toys.
Yeah.
Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles from Playmates.
So was Ninja Turtles your most favorite toy line growing up as a kid? And did it influence you to today?
Yeah, I really, when I look back, like I was saying, in terms of looking back at designers and what they did for that toy line, I look back at the style that they drew in, the style that was on the packaging back then of all the illustrations, and I recognize that I was heavily influenced by that style.
My most favorite pieces that I got to design for Super 7, like that Mechagodzilla. Clear with Guts is a design style that I absolutely love, and that's a favorite of mine and plays great with my artistic design style because I love to draw a ton of detail, and projects like that allow me that creativity to kind of go wild with something like that.
And a lot of those drawings back there, and a lot of the toys back then even, they had a ton of really cool sculpted details that as a kid, most kids probably miss. But if you just like stopped and looked at the toy and then you zoomed in a little and then zoomed in a little, you'd see all this like, oh, he has like bugs crawling over him. And that style, that like storytelling that's there, but kind of in the background, like an Easter egg. I took that and kind of like equally made it my own in what I do today.
I have a lot of different ways to inspire, or things that I've brought back from my childhood to inspire me in my projects that I do today. I have recently started collecting a lot of Mexican bootlegs. It's funny because Mexican bootlegs are near and dear to my heart because as a child growing up, they were a big part of my toy collection. I didn't always have much, but when I had the option, my mom would take me to either McDonald's to buy a Happy Meal toy and get a toy there.
You can collect and change all 8 new food changeables at McDonald's.
And those were my toys in my toy box. Or we went to the swap meet and I didn't get a G.I. Joe. I got something like a G.I. Ranger. This one's also a special one to me. My first opportunity to not just design a kids meal toy, but be the kids meal toy. So back in, I want to say 2011, 2012, at Taco Bell, if you ordered a kids meal, you could get your official skateboarders Mondo figure. So I'm sorry kids if you ended up with a Mondo. I just like to surround myself again with things that are creative and inspiring. I have a lot of cards here that my kids have made me throughout the years. My kids are super talented and creative in all kinds of different ways.
So I have 2 examples here that my then 7-year-old son made. This was his character called Hot Doug. He is a hot dog, and I thought that was hilarious. And then this was another random Wars. He knows I'm a Star Wars fan. So throughout my career, I've had amazing opportunities with different brands. Ninja Turtles, Transformers, Thundercats, Silverhawks. And as much as I love all those unique brands, and they have everything that I love drawing, monsters, robots, you do still have to like kind of work for someone else and make sure you stay true to the brands. So what I wanted to do is just create my own line, something that's unique to my style. So I designed this in 2019. It was essentially just something like, hey, I'm a toy designer. I want to make sure I have a cool card. And every time I went to hand it to someone, people would go, whoa, I want that robot. And then fast forward to 2023, I said, I'm going to make it. And I designed my own robot here. Combination of a couple different, there's a Mac Baron, Red Baron, but really giant robots that are mechs or autonomous. It's a combination of all those different things that make that genre so appealing to me. And that's why I just had to make this thing a reality.
So I infuse all these characters with storytelling. My original design was meant to be kind of a melee battler, close combat. This guy is actually, if you could tell, he's got giant cannon arms. And he's intended to be a long-range kind of strategic battler. So this is going to be my new design that I'm developing, get to develop them. Here, printing out different pieces, different parts. This here is maybe going to be the third or fourth iteration of my robot design. You saw that awesome cyborg dinosaur, so that was one thing that I was inspired by. I'm like, how could I make a winged? So this would be like an air combat version robot.
When I got that response to my card, I immediately went to like, yeah, it is possible. I can do this. So like, why don't I try it? Like, why not, right? Because a guy that goes by the handle of @DreamsOfRobots needs a robot mascot to go along with that.
Any type of advice for someone that may be watching this, has been thinking about toy designing, or like even does customs, and that might lead to them maybe making a toy line for themselves as well?
I'd say honestly, you got to do your research. That's the best place to start, and then start exposing yourself to all those different channels, because there are a lot of different types of roles in the toy industry that may not be designing toys hands-on, but are doing different things within it. That if you're a person that's passionate about toys in general, that you can still kind of lead you down that road. In terms of like skill set, I did a lot of years working on illustration, went to a school called Otis College of Art and Design. There, they actually have a toy design program. And there's also so many things in terms of tools available to us with 3D printers and 3D CAD software, where you could start, you get the software and then you just start exploring, whether on your iPad nowadays or on a desktop computer, you could start making stuff and then printing it right out in 3D, which is pretty amazing to be able to have all those tools. So this day and age has allowed access to so many people to just have fun in developing their own toy lines. But I definitely encourage those out there to just keep pursuing your passions, put it out there, talk to different people, build community around it, or join a community, and find that fan base for your product. I'm sure it's out there, and see what you could do with it.
So throughout my wall here, I have a lot of my turtles from back in the day. Not all of these are original from my childhood, but I went back, I got as many as I could.